Well, guys, I should be sleeping right now, and I'm not. I was getting ready to just relaxing, starting to get ready to go to sleep, wind down. I've got some stuff coming up tomorrow. Today is Monday, the 8th of September, 2025. It's currently 10:46 p.m. So I was home in bed again. I legit was about to go to sleep. And then Isaac sends me a text, and it's a link to a YouTube video, and it's a US Law Shield seminar that they held for instructors here in the state of Colorado. Watch the video. Ah, 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 ah. I'm pissed off is putting it lightly. Frustrated, pissed off, angry, disappointed. Uh, all of it, all of it. It is mind-boggling. And then we wonder why the fuck we're losing. And then we wonder why the fuck we're losing. I'm gonna show you the video. I'm just gonna show you a clip. They did a seminar. Um, and one of the guys that runs, I think they said he's the president. And you can go watch the video. In fact, I encourage you to go to that video on FOX31 and tell this individual how he's wrong. He's wrong. It's fucking it's frustrating when larger organizations with all the fucking money, with all the resources, get it wrong, because people who pay attention to who's the richest and equate that to success will gravitate towards that, because for whatever weird reason people have this appeal to authority. If Guns for Everyone National had all the fucking money, folks would listen to us more just because we had money, not whether we were correct or not, just because we had fucking money. That is frustrating. So frustrating, because US Law Shield got it wrong. Got it wrong. I'm going to share this. We're going to watch it. Hopefully you guys can hear it. Here we go.
In the state has to become verified by their county sheriff. And because Colorado is a local control state, that verification looks different depending on where you live.
It's different in every county. So, for example, here in Denver, the instructor can be an instructor recognized in any county. But a couple counties over, the instructor has to be recognized in that particular county. And then there's other counties in the state. Not only do you have to be in that county, recognized by that county, but you have to physically teach the class in that county.
Kirk Evans is the president of US Law Shield. He's also a self-defense attorney. With all the questions,
so I don't know if you heard that, but I'm gonna bring it back, because just in case my volume's off or whatever, I want to make sure that you're able to hear this. And then I'll show you how they're wrong, and why they're wrong, and how this fucking weirdo got it wrong. So hopefully you can hear it. Hopefully my volume's okay.
in the state has to become verified by their county sheriff. And because Colorado is a local control state, that verification looks different depending on where you live.
It's different in every county. So, for example, here in Denver, the instructor can be an instructor recognized in any county. But a couple counties over, the instructor has to be recognized in that particular county. And then there's other counties in the state. Not only do you have to be in that county, recognized by that county, but you have to physically teach the class in that county.
Kirk Evans is the president of US Law Shield. He's also a self-defense attorney.
He should know better. He should know better. And I hate to say it, but KDVR should have done the journalist thing and read up on the laws instead of just believing that. I don't know if I fully blame KDVR, because they're just doing the story, but I would assume that if you're a journalist, you would want to verify some of the information that's being said instead of misleading the public. Now, how is this individual incorrect? Now, again, I was already asleep. I was already asleep. In the state of Colorado, I'm going to bring it up. Colorado legislature. We're just going to do this shit the long way. We're going to do this shit the long way. I'm going to share this Colorado General Assembly. This is not usually how I get to this stuff. This is not usually how I get to this information, but I just want to show you the stuff. So bills. Find a bill. No, I don't want a bill. Laws. Here we go. Colorado laws. Boom. You click there. And then you go to Colorado revised statutes. You click there and it says okay. And I'm going this way so you see that that this is the place that we always send you. This is the official source. So you see me go to the Colorado legislature. That is the official source, LexisNexis.com/hot topics/Colorado. So I'm going to click I agree. And then we're going to go to 18. And then we're going to go to 12. And then part 2. And then we're going to go to 201. We've said this many times. You do not need to be an attorney to know that what he said was incorrect. He's essentially claiming that Colorado is a may issue state. Local control would make it a may issue state. Every sheriff gets to decide what happens. We are not a may issue state. We are a shall issue state. So 1812-201, the legislative declaration. The general, I'm going to fucking read the whole thing. I just debated that in my head. Fuck it, I'm going to read the whole thing. You guys can scroll forward if you guys don't want to. It's subsection 3 though. But I'm gonna read the entire thing, and then we're gonna go to the other law. The General Assembly finds that there exists widespread inconsistencies amongst jurisdictions within the state with regard to the issuance of permits to carry concealed handguns. B was deleted. C, inconsistencies regarding issuance of permits results in the arbitrary and capricious denial of permits to carry concealed handguns based on the jurisdictions of resident rather than qualifications for obtaining a permit. That's why this fucking exists. This is why it exists. I wish this attorney would read this shit. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. D, officials of local governments are uniquely equipped to make determinations as to where concealed handguns can be carried in their local jurisdictions. Nothing about issuance. This is a law that just passed recently when we lost preemption. Got it. But this is about where concealed handguns can be carried. The inconsistencies are about the issuance of permits. It is necessary that the state occupy the field of regulation of issuing concealed handgun permits. It is necessary that the state occupy the field of regulation of the issuance of concealed handgun permits because there is a prevailing state interest in ensuring that no citizen is arbitrarily denied a concealed handgun permit. What he said was fucking wrong. It is not at a sheriff level, it is at a state level. The sheriffs do not get to make the laws. They don't fucking get to decide how you get the permit, what the permit's all about. They don't decide the process. The state already decided the process. Now, the state here is giving the local control where you can and cannot carry. That's unfortunate. I don't agree with it, but that's the law. Based on the findings specified in subsection 1 of this section, the General Assembly concludes that the criteria and procedures for issuing permits to carry concealed handgun is a matter of statewide concern. It is necessary to provide statewide uniform standards for issuing permits to carry concealed handguns for self-defense, and whether concealed handguns can be carried in specified areas is a matter of state and local control. So see, the only thing that they have local control over is whether concealed handgun permits can be carried in a specific area is a matter of state and local control. It is necessary to provide statewide uniform standards for issuing permits to carry concealed handguns for self-defense. That shit's uniform. It's the same across the state. Fucking C. Or 3, I'm sorry. In accordance with the findings In accordance with the findings and conclusions specified in subsection 1 and 2 of the section, the General Assembly hereby instructs each sheriff to implement and administer the provisions of this Part 2. The provisions of this Part 2, not their feelings, not their understanding, not what they wished would happen, the provisions of this Part 2. The General Assembly does not delegate to the sheriffs the authority to regulate or restrict the issuance of permits provided for in this Part 2 beyond the provisions of this Part 2. An action or rule that encumbers the permit process by placing burdens on the applicant beyond those sworn statements and specified documents detailed in this Part 2, or that creates restrictions beyond those specified in this Part 2, is in conflict with the intent of this Part 2 and is prohibited. It does not say, sheriffs, you do whatever the fuck you want. It does not say, sheriffs, you have control over everything. Doesn't say that. Doesn't say that. U.S. Law Shield is wrong. That attorney was wrong. Wrong. 100% incorrect. If we go to instructor verification, each sheriff shall verify as a firearms instructor a person whose principal place to conduct firearms training is in the sheriff's county and who satisfies the requirements for verification described in the section, pays any fees required pursuant to subsection 5. That's basically it. That's all it takes. To become a verified instructor, an applicant must hold a valid permit to carry concealed handgun. So hold a permit, be certified as a firearms instructor by one of the following entities. That has instructors certified by a nationally recognized organization that customarily offers firearms training. Guns for Everyone National does that. A federal, state, county, or municipal law enforcement agency, a college or university, a nationally recognized organization that customarily offers firearms training, Guns for Everyone National, a firearms training school. We are technically those two. An instructor verification is issued pursuant to the subsection is valid for 10 years and may be renewed at any time prior to the expiration. A sheriff shall issue evidence of the verification to the verified instructor. The evidence of verification must include the date and expiration of the verification. Each sheriff shall maintain a record of firearms instructor. This is against the law, by the way. It's in direct violation of 1812-206. Each sheriff shall maintain a record of firearms instructors verified by the sheriff and shall post a list of verified instructors on the sheriff's website. The list must include the expiration date of an instructor's verification. A sheriff shall revoke, blah, blah, blah. This is all revoking stuff. Nowhere on here does it say the instructor must teach all of the classes where they're verified. Nowhere on here does it say the sheriff gets to decide who teaches in their county, who doesn't teach in their county. Each sheriff shall verify as a firearms instructor a person whose principal place to conduct firearms training is in the sheriff's county and who, and then continues on to say the rest. None of this gives the sheriffs the authority, the ability, even the slightest wiggle room for them to do whatever the fuck they want. What U.S. Law Shield is doing is dangerous. It does not help the Second Amendment. Giving wrong information it shit sucks. It's not even, oh shit, I fucked up and I really meant this and I should have said this. Right? We do it all the fucking time where I'm saying stuff and it gets conflated with something else because I spoke too quick. I didn't give a pause, whatever. It wasn't even that. We can't even clarify that. He fucking, they have a video. Isaac brought this up in the last podcast that we had about a week and a half ago. He brought up how U.S. Law Shield made this mistake there. So we're like, fucking nothing's going to happen. And now in the whole fucking seminar, they said it. Went on KDVR. You guys heard it. As plain as day, he said that they have local control and each sheriff gets to make whatever fucking rules they want about verified instructor. That's not the way it goes. Nothing here. Hold on. I'm still not fucking done. 1812-203, criteria for obtaining a permit. A training certificate from a concealed handgun training class obtained within 1 year preceding submittal of the application. The applicant shall submit the original training certificate that includes the printed name and original signature of the verified instructor. To the extent permitted by Section 1812-202.5 in obtaining a training certificate from a concealed handgun training class, the applicant has discretion in selecting which concealed handgun training class to complete. What the fuck? This is easy to read. This is not difficult. If you're a fucking attorney, especially if you're a self-defense attorney, this is easy to fucking read. This is not difficult. It does not say the sheriff shall tell you which instructor to go to, which concealed handgun training class. It doesn't say that. It fucking boggles the mind that U.S. Law Shield. I mean, he's the president of U.S. Law Shield, so I don't think he would fire himself. But what the fuck? KDVR is a little bit responsible, just a tad bit, because they should have read the shit. They should have verified the shit. But I guess they're assuming he's an attorney, so he knows what the fuck he's talking about. This is why in training, this is why in life, this is why in anything, this is why in our classes we accept challenges to the information. Just last Saturday, I had some weirdo that wanted to debate fucking Weaver stance versus squared up and didn't comprehend the concept that we were talking about. And at the end, we talked about it. Like, I don't mind that you asked all this shit. A lot of students were frustrated with him, and there was some bickering and arguing amongst them. And at the end, he said, no, I didn't see anything negative with this. He felt it was positive. This is when we give feedback and stuff like that. So, like, we accept challenges to the information because we're not above that. We're not. This is how we become better. Maybe I did say something that was confusing. There's no confusing what the fuck he said. There's no fucking confusing what the fuck he said. He said it many times. Sheriffs get to decide how the classes go, where you're verified and how you're verified. In Denver, they accept from other counties, but just a couple counties down, you have to be a verified instructor there and take the like. This is fucking crazy. Crazy. I hope that you go to U.S. Law Shield. I hope attorneys who are watching this, I hope instructors who are affiliated with U.S. Law Shield go and fucking tell them, hey, what the fuck? You're hurting the Second Amendment. You're hurting instructors here in the state of Colorado. Bad fucking move. Bad fucking. All it took for you to do was just read the fucking law. Fucking chat GPT it. I'm going to chat GPT it. OpenAI, chat GPT. In Colorado, I'm going to do it here live. In Colorado, you can skip through this if you want to. Can sheriffs, how would I ask this? Because make their own laws and rules for concealed handgun permits. I'm going to share this, hopefully, as it's typing. I guess I should have shared this as in Colorado, sheriffs cannot make their own law. Now, it's fucking ChatGPT, so take it for what it's worth. ChatGPT is as wrong as that attorney sometimes, so you have to correct and ask a question. So just because ChatGPT said so doesn't make it correct. I just want to fucking point this out. In Colorado, sheriffs cannot make their own laws for concealed handgun permits, CHPs. The rules are set by the state statute, specifically Colorado Revised Statute, Title 18, Article 12, Part 2, 1812-201 through 1812-216. Here's how it works. Statewide authority, what sheriffs can do. The process application, ensure applicants meet statutory requirements. What sheriffs cannot do, they cannot add new eligibility requirements beyond that statute allow. For example, they can't require applicants to take extra training, buy insurance, or write an essay. They cannot shorten or lengthen the permit validity. It's 5 years under CRS. They cannot raise the fees, all that shit. Bottom line, sheriffs in Colorado are administrators, not lawmakers. I like the way it fucking said that. So I'm often yelling at ChatGPT for getting it wrong. So far, I haven't read this whole thing, but again, you can't listen to ChatGPT 100%. But we read the law, and I'm just trying to make a point right now that he could have fucking ChatGPT'd this shit, and ChatGPT would have fucking done a better job than he is. Now I know. I've got some friends that I help out every once in a while with stuff and things, and they always tell me, well, ChatGPT said this, and it fucking frustrates me. It fucking frustrates me because ChatGPT gets it wrong all the time. And when they Google, they just take recent articles and shit like that. Like, it's not, a lot of the time, it's not, it's great at writing and helping you write and shit like that. But drawing information is usually like the most popular stuff, and that's not always correct. So like, this attorney could have just fucking ChatGPT'd it, and he would have seen that he's wrong. He's fucking wrong. So frustrating. So frustrating because something as small as that can kill the momentum that we have in defeating sheriffs. And because now a lot of sheriffs are going to be like, see, I am right. I have one fucking doofus who runs a gun company, a gun insurance company, saying that I'm correct. But no, they're wrong. They're both wrong. They're both wrong. Two idiots don't make a cool or whatever the fuck that is. They're wrong. They're wrong. I'm sure we're gonna get yelled at, and I'm sure we're gonna fucking get threatened to get sued and shit like that. But you just seen it. It's 100% true. 100% true. It is my opinion that he's an idiot, but he is wrong. My opinion that he's an idiot, but he is wrong. We can prove it. There's the thing that's objective, not subjective. That's objective. That he is incorrect. That he is incorrect. Go yell at him. Go yell at him. Wrong. It's 11 p.m. I'm gonna wait till the morning to post this and make this live. But go yell at him. Go yell at him.